Hi there, happy Friday. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. Welcome to 30 Minutes of My Day. I'm Catherine. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. And if you're a regular, welcome back. I was thinking, I'm not going to bother doing a 30 minutes. And then, you know what, I've got a few funny little things to do. And I thought, what the heck? Why not turn on my camera? So I've been working on the signatures for Bookland. They're going to go into the press because they're quite puffy. And when, honestly, after they go in my paper press, they will probably come in about a third. It is significant, the bulk that gets mashed down if you press your papers. It's lovely. I call that my ephemera allowance because that's what gives me. This isn't bad, but you can still see how if I were to just simply sew the signatures in like that now, it would need some kind of, it's not an alligator mouth, it would need some kind of, whether it's like strings or lace around it or eyelets here, it would need something to keep the cover closed, because right now I would say that's the perfect amount of fullness. And of course, if somebody wants to start putting things in and, adding tags or gluing in or lace, you know what I mean? So I'm going to press them tonight, and then we'll see. I may have gone overboard. Yeah, something new, huh? I may have gone overboard, and I may have to take some out. This book is from 1922, so it is 99 years old. And it's got quite a nice variety of some different things. Yes, that's the song. I get a kick out of you. This is from one of those Walter Foster art books. It's just, there's illustrations from the actual book that I've put into it. Oh, yes, William Shakespeare, he's in. So, yeah, so I've already got this done today. I have already been working. 9 signatures. So far, it seems to be about 220 pages. But in my defense, some of the pages are like that. Still gets called. I still consider these a page because it still takes up vertical height. it will bulk up your book, and there's writing and fun room. I mean, something like this. Think of the things you could do with that. Have fun. So I certainly won't make any big decisions till these are in the press. I just haven't done it yet, but I've got them over here, and for the time being, I've just got them under a brick, and that gets them started. Now, I'm still thinking about what I have to do to fix this, because I still am not liking how worn out this little corner is. And I do think I'm going to have to put some cloth mending here. So then I'm trying to decide whether I want to do both ends just so that there's balance in the appearance. But there's nothing wrong with this end. So I'm still thinking on it, because I could mend it from the inside out and then just simply play with a bit of gold gilding wax. I could just put some new stripes across on this book. So I'm still leaning towards that, but I'm not sure yet. So it's one of those things. My very wise father-in-law had an expression, and he'd if you proposed something to him and he wasn't sure right away, he'd say, I'm going to have to process this for a little while. So I'm going to have to process this for a little while longer, how I want to approach it. And I'm not sure yet. So there's no rush. So I thought in the meantime, we would got this little baby. As you can see, some of it already got, it's sort of self-started. It's almost as if the text block jumped out and said, please fix me. Please get me out of this cover. It's not that old of a book. It looks abysmal. I have a feeling, here's what I imagine. I always imagine what my book's previous life was when I'm working on a book. And I imagine that this belonged to an avid Scrabble family, and it was the edition that they kept at their cottage where there was no TV. And, you know, remember back in the day when you'd go to your cottage and you actually played board games and card games and things like that in the evenings? Yeah, everyone wasn't sitting in front of the TV. Nowadays, cottages are just like your house, only somewhere else. But the experience of going to a cottage, certainly when I was younger, oh, it's wonderful. You actually sat at a table and laughed and howled and hollered, and or you had campfires. Anyhow, I suspect, because this has been well used, it is very, very well used, and it's only from the 1950s, I think. 1956, so it's not that old. I like the papers. They're nice and thin, but they're also already quite yellowed, so I love that. I want to choose a page. Let's choose a crummy page so I can see whether it cracks or not. Oh, I already like that. Usually there's a feeling if the paper is just going to go. That's not bad. Yeah, you know what? And it didn't even tear on the folded line, so happy with that. So I'm going to start taking this apart. It's going to need quite a bit of restoration. Look at this, and obviously something either got spilled on it or the roof at the cottage leaked or something. I honestly, I hope that this was from a family that loved Scrabble. My family loved Scrabble. I love Scrabble. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, there we go. That was the easiest gutting ever yet for me. Thank you. Okay. Let's see if this... Wow. Dorothy, I'm not sure whether we're going to save your name, honey. We'll see. There's tape on that. I'd have to reuse that with the tape on it. Let's see if this will come off without me needing to wear a mask. I do worry about the glue getting dusty when you start ripping apart books like this. Okay, well, it's not important that I get that off because I will simply be going in, finding the signature threads and cutting it open that way. Where is one? Let's see if this is a tricky one. It seems to open nicely, so I'm hoping it behaves itself. I love all the little pictures. There they are. All right. Let's see. I guess I better make sure I'm in camera. Oh, there we go. I hope you're all doing well. I'm having a good day. It's my mom's birthday today. She would have been 94. So yes, it's bittersweet. I'm sad. But I guess it's hard to explain, but those of you who know, you'll know. She had a long life, and for the most part, a good life. She had heartache, of course. I don't think you can walk this earth and not experience heartache. You'd have to be a nomad, living in a cave somewhere without human contact, or animal contact, for that matter, if you're me, or other animal lovers. Anyhow, so she, for the most part, she experienced happiness and joy and some sadness. That's part of being human. So I sort of feel like, wherever she went, I'm quite sure she had the best welcome party ever. And I bet they're having a fantastic birthday party today. My dad and my brother and her parents and her siblings. She was the last one of her family's generation. There we go. So they've all been waiting for her, and they've been waiting for years because she outlived all of them. Certainly on her side of the family, they died a bit younger because most of her family smoked, and many of her family sadly had alcoholism, and that took a few of them early, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm quite sure all the signatures, sorry, my mind is wandering here. All the signatures where the threads are have a little bit of glue inside. I wonder if the publisher did that. Yeah, she's probably blowing out the candles, knowing Daddy's got her big bouquet of yellow flowers. She'd be sharing a cake with Mark because his birthday was last week. That's what I think. And whether it's true or not makes me happy. So there, right? All right, I want to take out just a few of these because I might want to put one into, I'm putting more papers into Bookland. Of course. Now that I enjoy collaging, thank you, Nancy. These pages that are the ones that get the glue on them. Do you know how the outside page of each signature is the one that gets the most amount of glue? So they tend to be the fold is very fragile. Now I just don't worry about it because I can tear this up and put it in my little collage bin. Oh, well, I have to put him in a journal somewhere. Come on. All right, I'll put these aside for now. And this aside. There we go. Now, let's take a look at this. This feels really weird. I wonder what they've done in here. It doesn't feel normal. Mm-mm. This feels like a whole bunch of folded paper. Usually inside a book spine is just one sheet, just one piece of paper that goes down the spine. Now I add in curved cardstock, but it's because the way I bind my journals is very different from how a bookbinder binds a professional book. If you've watched Nick the Booksmith's most recent video, she explains why that is and the difference, and why for a junk journal you actually wouldn't want it to be you wouldn't want your text block bound this tightly and this snug, because then there's no room for you to have fun, especially people, you know, being junk journaling is basically mixed media art. So, and if your book is too tight, there's no room for your media. I just want to get some of this off, but this fabric does not feel very sturdy. I didn't start my timer. I just realized. I'm purposefully not using my bookbinding knife because it would be too sharp. I would be slicing this up into shreds, whereas this one, it's just an old kitchen knife. So it does the job perfectly. I just want to scratch all this, whatever I can get off just by scratching it. I want it off. The glue will adhere better if you're not trying to glue it to powdered paper. Yeah, there's a hole there. Okay, I'll have to be careful. Not terribly exciting, I apologize. Yep, that's a hole. Oh, I almost yanked on it. That's a hole. Okay. Well, we're having some sort of chicken for dinner tonight. I don't know what yet. I'll have to see what inspires me. Although hubby came in the door very happy. It's a little later if you're wondering for me. It's actually not first thing in the morning, even though I said good morning. I made him some tuna macaroni salad, which he loves. All right, let's take this off. There you go. I'm excited about this. I seem to find that the saddest looking books that I restore often end up being the coolest looking finished journal. Yeah, this has been folded and folded. That's very unusual. They've glued it together, there's one, to make it thicker. Very strange. Well, that will give me an idea of how big I want to make my spine. So that's good. I'm going to get a file folder. Hold on. Okay. So I've just got this piece of a file folder here. I always have to check. Yep. They usually have a side that has these scored lines to allow for lots of papers to be in the file folder. And I don't like to use those yet. Let's see if I can. Ah, there we go. That'll be good. All right. Let's move you out of the way. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, that's a peekaboo cover. I wonder if you can see through it. I certainly can, but it's going to be cool. You can't really read it very much anymore, so I may very well just simply cover the I may cover the whole spine on the outside with some pretty fabric. I'm going to have to process it and decide. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I apologize ahead of time. If I sneeze, the dust here is flying, and I should have put a mask on. All right, so let's see how wide you are. No rhyme or reason to the width except just going by what the previous spine liner was. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to make this 2 layers or 3. This is quite thin. Sorry about that. That's loud when that happens. Let's see what. Now it says 1 3/8, but the shoulders were quite wide. I think by the time this is all restored, it'll be about 1.5 inch spine. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. Sorry. You know what? I'm going to cut another one. I'm going to do 3. And hold on, and I'll grab a book and I'll explain why. Or else I'll talk myself out of it. So hold on. There we go. All right, so these are quite thick. So I like there to be a balance if the spine is a similar thickness as the covers. So that's why I am thinking probably going to need 3. Now I need to go get my rolling pin. Hold on. Okay, rolling pin, pantyhose legs. Just stretch them out a bit. Oh, it might be time soon. This one's got lots of glue on it. Now, I don't think this one got, I think I only used one the last time I used this one for a spine. It's nice outside right now. We had rain all morning and it's calling for more rain tonight. Hubby's happy with that because that means it's good for his lawn. There we go. All right, so my spines, I prefer either 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac. Pardon me. Kind of stuck. Come on. Don't give me grief. All right, let's see what's going on here. I haven't used you yet today. There we go. Now I find with these spines, I like a moderate amount, but I find because you give it a real good squeeze, that just sort of spreads it out between the sheets of the file folder strips. So like that's quite sufficient, that, because that'll squish out. Well, squish it around so that it disperses it for you. There you go, and we'll do it again. There we go. We got 2 neighbors moving out off our street this week. So we get new neighbors right across the road, and we get new neighbors right beside us. And they were both nice families. I mean, I'm happy for them to move on into their next house, but very nice families. And there's always that little bit of nerves, you know, you don't know who's coming. Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be quiet? Our previous neighbors before the nice ones to the side of us, they were nice people, but they had three dogs that barked constantly. And I'm a dog lover, but I don't want to listen to dogs barking constantly, like even so much that they would put the dogs in the yard and leave their house. I was very close to finally giving in and calling the municipal officer, because we have a bylaw in our community, 20 minutes of dog barking, and that's it. And of course, these dogs were barking much longer than 20 minutes, several times a day. But then they said they were moving, and it was sort of, problem solved. And then the new little family never had a dog. I mean, I like dogs, so that part of it isn't my issue. I had a dog who was a barker, and because she was a barker, she wasn't allowed to just hang around out in the backyard on her own, because she would just bark. And she wouldn't even be barking at anything. She'd just bark. And so if she was going to be out in the yard for any length of time, one of us was with her, because she'd be a nuisance, not only for the neighbors, but for me. I didn't like listening to her either. I don't understand how people don't hear their own dogs. Anyhow, so I think that might be my biggest worry, next to people that, you know, party in their yard till 3 a.m. But why borrow trouble? We could end up with very, very nice neighbors. Now, I was able, I'm just checking to make sure if I can see through that it is. Yeah, it is. I was able to get it completely covered. Sometimes I'll do like a crisscross, and I'll put this one on in the opposite direction, because sometimes there'll be little areas that didn't get an application of the pantyhose, but this is nicely applied and it's completely covered. So again, this will just, this will sit overnight. All right, you. Dismiss. There we go. This will sit overnight, and I'll see what I'm going to do in the morning with this. I've got to decide. Oh golly, the dust. I may sneeze again. I'm thinking, let me see if I've got some fabric. How am I for time? Oh, I'm at 30 minutes. I thought maybe because I paused that my timer was wrong. But it was right. Oh, well, you know what? If you're still here after that exciting episode, thanks for joining me. Thanks for choosing to spend a little time with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you're doing well and everyone you love is safe and healthy. Well, take care, and we'll have another visit at some point over the weekend. Talk soon. Bye.